So what if time isn't a straight line? What if it's a circle? Today, we're diving into a really ancient way of seeing the world, one that says we're not heading for some final fiery end, but for a total reset. Welcome to the apocalypse of the Kali Yuga.
And listen, this isn't some new age idea. This is ancient wisdom, something that's been passed down for thousands of years. It's a perspective that sees whole civilizations rise and fall, not as a tragedy, but as part of this grand cosmic pattern, an eternal dance of creation and, well, dissolution.
All right, so to really get our heads around this idea of a cosmic apocalypse, we've got to do something kind of radical first. We have to completely rethink our most basic idea of what time is.
Most of us, right, we're taught to see time as a line. It has a definite beginning, it moves forward, and it's headed towards some kind of final end. But Vedic cosmology, it offers a totally different picture. Time as this great, massive wheel, just endlessly turning. There's no real beginning, and there's no final end. There are only infinite cycles of becoming.
And this has a name, the Kalachakra, literally the wheel of time. You can think of it like the engine that runs the entire cosmos. It frames our whole existence not as a one-time shot, but as something that happens over and over and over again. Everything that has been, it's going to be again, just maybe in a new form.
So, if we're all on this giant cosmic Ferris wheel, where are we right now? Well, the ancient texts, they actually give us a map. They break down each great turn of the wheel into 4 very distinct ages or yugas that chart humanity's whole journey.
This complete cycle of 4 ages is called the Chatur Yuga. And here's the crucial part. It's described as a gradual decline. It's a slow forgetting of our true divine nature as we get farther and farther away from this original state of pure truth. And this visual, man, it shows the whole descent perfectly. We start way up at the top, at the peak, in the Satya Yuga. This is the golden age of truth. And from there, we just spiral down through ages of more and more complexity, more spiritual distance, until we hit the bottom, the Kali Yuga. And that's where they say we are right now.
So let's zoom in on that last age, the one we're supposed to be living in. It's often called the Age of Darkness, but honestly, a better way to think about it might be the Age of Illusion, or maybe even the Age of forgetting who we really are. And this just captures the paradox of our time perfectly, doesn't it? I mean, we've achieved these incredible technological marvels. We can do things our ancestors couldn't even dream of. And yet, there's this feeling, this pervasive sense of spiritual emptiness, a disconnection from ourselves and from the world.
The ancient texts were shockingly specific about what this age would be like. They said it would be a time when greed is king, when truth gets twisted, when leaders are corrupt, and when humanity just becomes totally disconnected from nature and, from its own spiritual heart. Sound familiar? Now, here's where it gets really mind-blowing. This isn't just a myth. It's actually a spiritual metaphor for a physical law we know very well today, entropy. Yeah, thousands of years before science even had a name for it, these texts describe the tendency for all systems to move from a state of order to disorder. The Kali Yuga is the age of maximum cosmic and spiritual entropy. It's things falling apart. Okay, so if this is an age of total decay that's leading to a collapse, what happens when we finally hit rock bottom? This is where the story gets truly fascinating, because it's not an ending, it's a transformation.
The prophecies say that at the moment of the greatest darkness, when it seems like all is lost, 2 symbolic forces come onto the scene. One is there to preserve the timeless knowledge, to make sure wisdom survives the collapse. And the other? The other is the force of pure transformation, the one that clears away all the old junk to make way for the new.
So the end of the Kali Yuga, it isn't some big fiery spectacle. It's described as more of a profound unraveling. All the structures we've built, and not just physical ones, but our mental structures too, they just dissolve. The noise of our civilization finally fades, and what's left behind is a deep, healing silence. And this is the pivot point, the big twist in the whole story. What if the apocalypse that we're so afraid of isn't about annihilation at all? What if it's actually a purification, a necessary winter before the spring of a brand new world?
And so, after that great silence, the wheel keeps on turning, just like it always does. The long descent is finally over, and from the ashes of the old world, a new one starts to rise.
So how does this rebirth actually play out? Well, after the great silence settles, the earth itself begins to heal from all the damage. And in this renewed world, a small part of humanity awakens, almost like they're coming out of a long bad dream, totally ready to start over.
You can just imagine it, can't you? A new dawn. And the survivors, they rediscover the most basic, essential things. The warmth of a fire, the strength you find in a community, the clarity of simple truth. Stripped of all the illusions and the noise of the Kali Yuga, they begin that long, slow climb back toward the light, kicking off a brand new Satya Yuga.
And so the wheel completes its turn, only to begin all over again. Which leaves us with the ultimate question, really. If this has all happened before and will all happen again, can we remember the lessons? Can we, this time, finally break the cycle of forgetting?